Hey guys, did you know airports in the United States are required to have barcodes printed at both ends of the runway? That's right, you've probably seen these markings before, and guess what? That's not a crosswalk like you're probably thinking. In fact, that's not even a smart place to walk along the runway. That would make a pretty cool t-shirt though, wouldn't it? At any rate, there's lots of symbols and markings on runways, and you don't know what any of them mean. These things are going to be on your written exam, so grab a pen and let's get into it. So why is there this requirement to have barcodes painted on the end of every runway at every airport in the United States? Well, when you visit an airport, there's fees associated with that visit. There's service fees, there's fuel charges, some airports even have landing fees. Let's say you're flying in an airplane like this 747 full of passengers and you want to land. It would be super inconvenient to all of those passengers to wait for the pilot to get out his wallet and try to find his credit card and then run into the airport terminal and pay for his fuel bill. No one wants to wait for him to do that. So what they've done in these larger planes is they've embedded these sensors in the tail of the aircraft. So as the airplane is landing, when it flies over that barcode on the threshold, it scans it and automatically charges the pilot's credit card for any fuel that he uses. Additionally, we can see there's other markings on the runway. For example, we see this 3-5 here. That indicates a $35 landing fee for this airport. Also, you can see this letter C here. That's just to confirm that this airport will automatically bill your credit card. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, Brian, that's great, but how would this work at nighttime? Barcode scanners don't work in the dark. Well, the people who designed this system thought of everything. They came up with a system of lights that shine along the runway threshold where those bars would be, and the plane can scan it at night just like it would in the daytime. It's pretty genius. So that's great for commercial airliners, but what about pilots like us? A pilot like me that flies a small single-engine airplane? How can I get access to a super convenient system like this? Well, companies like Garmin and Aviation and Dynon have built small sensors that they can put on our airplanes so we can have the same convenience the jumbo jet pilots have. These sensors can be mounted under the wing of your airplane, or they can be mounted in the belly, so you and I have the same convenience of being able to automatically be billed for our fuel versus having to get out of our plane and go pay at the FBO. We never have to leave our planes again. And you might think I'm making this up, but if you've ever been in a small plane and you're paying attention, right before landing, sometimes you hear that beep. Here's an example. That's right, that just cost me $200. That's what that beep is. My plane is retrofitted with one of these sensors, so I get automatically charged. All right, last note on this. This is new technology, but it's already advancing. If you go out and look at airports, you're going to see some runways that have already ditched the barcode in favor of a QR code because it's faster and more efficient. And there's even discussion of a next generation system where they're going to put a chip in your hand, and as you're about to cross the threshold, you open that little window and you stick your hand out and you just scan it like that, and it automatically debits your checking account.
Roger, Flight 807, maintaining 15,000.
All right, that's enough about the runway barcodes. Now I want to talk about the next runway marking, the first officer lines. Now they call them that because it's these 3 lines on the runway, and the first officer has 3 lines on his epaulets. That's the only connection. How this thing works, it's very similar to the rules in golf. Or if you're familiar with golf, you'll know what I mean. When you're golfing, if you hit your ball and it doesn't go past the ladies' tees, there's some rules that get enforced. This is very similar. If you're a pilot of an airplane and you're landing and you don't get the plane down prior to the first officer lines, you got to taxi in with your pants around your ankles. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Take it up with the PGA.
Roger, Flight 807, approaching runway 7 Bravo.
The next runway marking I want to talk about is what's known as the floating point. The floating point is designated by these big, thick bars, and what this does is indicate an area of the runway where new pilots are not likely to land. This is the floating zone, and it terminates way down here at the designated student pilot landing area. This really is a safety feature, so if you're on final and you see a Flight School 172 in this area, it's to let you know that it's likely still airborne. It's probably going to stop on the runway and call ground on tower frequency. It's really a safety measure for the rest of us. Just go around.
Flight 527, ready for departure.
Another runway marking I want to talk about is what's called the delegation bars. That's these little single lines out here at the end. And what this is this denotes the very last point at the landing where you can tag someone in the plane and shout, "You're PIC," and offset the responsibilities of being pilot in command to someone else in the aircraft. Once you get past this line, it's too late. You own the landing. And you may think I'm making this up, but here's a video clip where I've actually done this.
Gears down. I don't know what to do, man.
Land it.
Your PIC.
Everything after that point is on him because I appointed him pilot in command. Now, once you've crossed this line, no matter how bad the landing is, you own it. So make sure you make that decision to either commit to the landing or tag someone else in the plane as pilot in command prior to getting to those delegation points.
Roger 527, maintaining 4,000, runway 8 kilo, holding.
The last runway marking I want to talk about are these yellow chevrons. There's not a whole lot to say about this, but if you've played as much Mario Kart as I have, you know it's a lot harder to hit this, but it gives you an instant speed boost that lasts about 3 seconds. And what am I supposed to do with? Oh, this is where the video falls apart. I'm out, guys. The Abbey Road shirt thing. That's a good idea, though, right? That's cool, isn't it? Yeah. Well, that's great, but what if you're a pilot like me and you fly a small plane? I have to get out of my plane and I've got to go fuel the line guy. I've got to fuel the line guy? What the heck, Brian? When you cross the threshold, not only does it scan to charge your credit card, but if you use an electronic flight book, I use my flight book, it logs your landings. It's a super convenient and efficient system that saves the flying public like you and me the inconvenience of having to wait for the pilot to pay for all these fees. Well, that's great, but what if you small a fly plane like me? All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for sticking through the outtakes. I appreciate everybody who supports the channel and the videos. Thanks to all the Patreon supporters. Thank you, Gold Seal, for sponsoring. You guys fly smart, and I'll catch you in the next one. Click this link to see the most recent video upload. Click this link to see a video that YouTube thinks you might like. Click this link to subscribe to my channel.